I just thought I'd share my record collection with people on here. It's a combination of like singles, CDs, vinyls, cassettes, and I thought where better to start than with what I've just recently purchased over the last couple of weeks. So, and there is quite a lot that I've purchased over the last couple of weeks, so just bear with us, yeah. So first, or should I say, I picked this up yesterday from charity shop, which is where I pick up most of my collection. Is a single by Dan Hartman called Instant Replay. I'm sure Dan Hartman will be a familiar name to some of you out there. Maybe not all of you, but it will be to some of you. I've also got Heart, Never, and These Dreams. Now, I've already got this on cassette, but for 50p, so I picked it for 50p. Decent enough songs, nice condition on the single. I also picked up Peter Cetera. Now, these have all got labels on, so I suppose that's because we're from a DJ or someone who says about collecting. So this is Glory of Love from Karate Kid Part 2. That's the front cover, and the back cover is the movie poster there. Yeah. So another good song. Not a bad little song that. Also got Billy Joel and Innocent Man with You're My Home Live on the B-side, which, again, no good song from a good album. Also picked up Labi Siffre, So Strong. Now, I picked this up, and on the same day I went to another charity shop and they had the CD album with this song on, so a bit of fortuitous luck there, so we'll get to see that a bit later on. The side B on this one is I'm Alright. Another really good song. If you've never heard So Strong, I suggest you listen to it. It's a good song, is that. All about apartheid in South Africa, which is really good. Not that apartheid's really good, but the song is really good. Also got Barbra Streisand and Don Johnson. Now this is a 4-track single, which is mainly Barbra Streisand doing duets with different singers. So not normally that I'd pick up a Barbra Streisand album or single, but she's doing duets on here with Don Johnson, Neil Diamond and Barry Gibb from Bee Gees. Everyone will know John Johnson from Nash Bridges and Miami Vice, and Neil Diamond from Jazz Singer will be his most popular thing, and Oh Caroline, and Barry Gibb obviously from the Bee Gees. So not a bad little single, easy listening. If you like Barbra Streisand, it would be your thing. If not, maybe just pick it up for the duets, which is what I mainly did. We also have the Cars Drive, which was like their biggest selling hit. On the B side we've got Stranger's Eyes. This is also produced by Robert John Mutland, who people know from Def Leppard mainly. We have Slade with My Oh My, and on the B side it's Keep Your Hands Off My Power Supply. Now, I know a lot of people probably know Slade more from the Christmas singles. There is a lot of Slade fans out there which will know more Slade albums and songs. My brother, rest in peace, he was a big Slade fan, so I got to know quite a few of their albums and songs rather than just the most popular like Christmas songs. We also have Boris Gardner with I Wanna Wake Up With You, and on the B-side is like a instrumental version of that. Again, not a bad song, big in the 80s, quite good. And we have Foreigner, I Want To Know What Love Is. Now, to be totally honest, I did like I Want To Know What Love Is when it first came out, but it seems to be one of those songs which now is everywhere, and to be quite honest, I can't really be doing with it anymore, to tell the truth. So I ideally picked this up for the B-side, which is called Street Thunder, which I'd never heard before. It's just like a rock instrumental track, but really good, really very rocky, really some good guitars and drumming on there. So I suggest anybody who sees this single out there or can look up Street Thunder, probably on Google, YouTube, Spotify, whatever. Just give that a quick listen to it. It's something different from Foreigner, and it is a really good track, is that. So we'll move on to the albums now. So the first one I've got, the sleeve's in pretty bad condition, I've got to admit, but the vinyl inside is in really good condition, been looked after. Now this is by Bits and Pieces. Now it's Let's Do It 80s medley. So basically it was on both sides a medley of various 80s hits all put together. It's a disco mixer, so it's what would have been played in discos back in the 80s, more or less just to give the DJ a break, or just to mix in with other songs, little bits of songs here to mix in with other tracks. So I picked this up. This was made in Canada and it's a studio copy, so quite possibly used on a radio station. So that's a good copy, and also it is a 12-inch single. So we've also got here Direct Hits, 20 original artists, fantastic hits. Right, as you can see, we've got Simple Minds, Ultravox, Clannad, Squeeze, Toya, Bucks Fizz, Kids from Fame, Heaven 17 on here, and some lesser known tracks, which is what I like about some of these compilations. Is like a lot of compilations, you get the same tracks over and over and over, so it's not worth, once you've bought them all. But I like to look for these compilations where you've got songs like we've got Thank You by Pale Fountains, which I've never heard of, so that's good to have a track by them on. Someone Somewhere by Simple Minds, that's another one of those tracks that you don't hear very much of. Night Porter from Japan. We have Be Proud to Be Loud by Toya, and what else do we have on here? Reap the Wild Wind by Ultravox, another one that you never really hear very much of, and Let Me Go by Heaven 17. These are all tracks from like 1981, 82, so early 80s, so this will be why a lot of people would never have heard a lot of these tracks, and mainly like you'll hear the late 80s stuff, but it's good to have a compilation like this where there's tracks on which you've never really heard. We have, and I picked this up for 50p which I can't say is too bad. Styx Cornerstone. Now this is actually a promotional copy which was sent to Pennine Radio to help advertise the album. Again, it's in very good condition. It is a gatefold sleeve, so you've got the song titles and all the lyrics on the inside. On the back side as well, we've got a picture there, which is quite good. This was released in 1979 by Styx, and it's also got one of their best songs on, or most popular songs, which is Babe up there, which is another good song of theirs. But I just thought it was good to pick up this, as it's, like I say, a promotional copy from a radio station. And finally, for the albums, I have Energy Highs, or Energy Highs. Quite a, standout cover there. This is purely a disco album, high energy hits. Again, early 80s, 1984 this was released, so all tracks will be like 79 up to 84 and again, it's one of those albums where, yeah, you might have one or two popular songs on, like we've got 2 ABBA songs, Visitors and Lay All Your Love On Me, Breakdance by Irene Cara and Why Me by Irene Cara. But the rest of the songs seem to be pretty unknown. I've never heard any of them. There is one called Doing It in a Haunted House, which samples Michael Jackson's Thriller on there. And again, a good album if you're into like disco music or early 80s music, or even late 80s music, just 80s music as a whole. It's a really good album. So we'll move on to the cassettes. Now the cassettes are pretty, if you thought the albums were a pretty mixed bunch, the cassettes are as well. So I've got Olivia Newton-John's Physical, which is obviously has the popular song of Physical on there. It's also got Silver Rain, Landslide, Stranger's Touch, Make a Move on Me. I've had a quick listen to this and it's not a bad album. It's quite good. Here's one I've been looking for a while. Now this is Karen Carpenter's solo album. Now it's a shame that this was released after her death. There was some controversy around this album, as it was a step away from what the Carpenters were doing. If anyone's ever seen the Karen Carpenter autobiography, you'll understand what I mean, or got this album. She really wanted to branch out, to do less easy listening songs and something a bit more upbeat, a bit more up to date, a little bit of disco and things. So I've had this album digitally, but never physically. So I saw this the other day. It was again in a charity shop, 50p. I'm like, I'm having that straight away. I've also got another Carpenters, which is called Passage. Now Carpenters, especially Karen Carpenters, is one of my favourite vocalists of all time, and a lot of the songs that she does, and she's like up there with Freddie Mercury as far as I'm concerned. Now this album has my favourite track, or my favourite song from the Carpenters, which is Calling Occupants of Interplanetary Craft. Now this song, I'll just have a quick look so I'll get it right for you. Now that song was the recognised anthem of World Contact Day. Now, it's not a song many Carpenters fans will know, or if you say it's Carpenters fan, yes, you will know, but if you're just a occasional fan of theirs, you won't know that song. It's like my favourite song because how Karen Carpenter can string together the lyrics in this song proves how good a singer she actually was, which I think is what can be said of a lot of singers. It's like not really the best hits or the most popular songs are the ones where they're extending the vocal talents, but more the deep cuts on their albums which aren't as popular, where they would extend the vocal talents. Just excuse me that quickly. Don't want to end up with a milkshake moustache, do I? Next is Foreigner's Greatest Hits. This has a lot of the older stuff on, plus a couple of the newer stuff, ideally from the Inside Information album, which is Say You Will and I Don't Want to Live Without You. So for foreigner fans out there, it's a good little album if you like the greatest hits. Also, what's the other one? I can't remember the name of the other one now, but the greatest hits album, foreigner fans will know, and I'm sorry for it escaping my head at this point in time, but that covers like a jukebox that you get in a little diner. So some of the songs on here will be on that album also, but there is a couple which won't be. I think like Star Rider, Blue Morning Blue Day, and That Was Yesterday, and Say Will, and I Don't Want to what's it called now? I Don't Want to Live Without You on there, which won't be on that other album. And I picked up The Kinks, Lola. I don't honestly know why I picked this one up. Not usually a band I go for, but I just thought I'll go for it. 50p, can't go wrong. It's obviously got Lola, which is a good song on theirs. But it's got Dancing in the Street, Where Have All Good Times Gone, You Really Got Me, again, popular songs up there. Dedicated Follower of Fashion, and what else have we got on here? All Day and All of the Night. So some quite popular songs on there by the band. That's maybe why I picked it up, I don't know. Well, just one of those impulse buys. But. So finally we'll move on to the CDs. Now, so I picked up Faith No More, the debut album, with songs Epic, Falling to Pieces, Surprise, Zombie Eaters, The Real Thing. This was released in 1989. Faith No More, good rock metal band. Picked this up because I never got this when it first came out, so picked that up. That's what I do most with CDs. If I've never picked them up before, that's what I'll do. Foo Fighters, again, what's this? The Colour and the Shape. Now, I've just recently got into Foo Fighters. Ideally I picked up a couple of a couple of big CD cases from a charity shop with loads of CDs in, and we had like a lot of Foo Fighters CDs in, and I gave them a listen, and I thought that's really good, really like that. So I picked this up yesterday again. So I also picked up Fleetwood Mac Rumours. Now this is a 2-disc edition, so it's got the full album of Rumours on there, plus some bonus material which is like rough takes, outtakes of songs which either are on the Rumours album or didn't quite make it onto the Rumours album. And it's also got some early demos of songs like Never Going Back Again, Planets of the Universe, Butter Cookie, Gold Dust Woman and Doesn't Anything Last. And also it's got what's called jam sessions, so that'll be interesting to listen to. There we go. Again, Rumours is a real good album of theirs, and a lot of people know that, but it's good to pick up edition like this where you've got all the bonus material on there, and like you can see it was only £1 again from a charity shop. We've got Aha, big band from the 80s, biggest hits, Take On Me would be the one which most people know. This is called Stay On The Roads. When was this released? This was released in 1988. Some songs on here that I've never heard of before. Touchy, This Alone Is Love, Hurry Home, Living Daylights, which obviously from the Bond film. Out of Blue Comes Green, You Have Won and You'll End Up Crying. Always kind of liked Aha, really good band, really good vocals, good musicality there. Also it falls into my wheelhouse of like 80s music, so that's a good one. Also got The Answer Rise. Now again, this is like Foo Fighters, never really heard them. Again, out of the same collection of CDs that I purchased a while back, there were a few Answer CDs in there, gave them a listen, really did enjoy them. This one's got Under the Sky, Never Too Late, Memphis Water, Into the Gutter, Leaving Today, Preaching and Always on there, so I'm looking forward to listening to that album. We've also got another compilation album. This must be out of this is CD1 out of what's a box set called Rock Ballads. Now obviously there is some songs on here which are the most popular songs by the bands, which you'll get on every compilation, like Jessie's Girl, Sarah from Starship, Without You by Nelson. But there is also a couple of tracks on here by other bands that I've never either not heard of or bands that I do know of, but I've just not heard the songs. There's White Lie by Foreigner, Lost in Your Eyes by Jeff Healey Band. There's the other one. Question 67 and 68 from Chicago. Accept, Mistreated, and Look of Love by Bonfire. So that's worth picking up, because again, songs on there which you wouldn't normally find on a compilation, you know, so well worth picking up. Just a shame they didn't have the rest of the collection in store. Here's a couple of CDs by Aimee Mann. Rush fans should know Aimee Mann, because she did backing vocals on the Hold Your Fire album for them. Also from Canada. She's a really good singer-songwriter. Well worth listening to if you've never listened to her before. She is well worth listening to. So we've got Whatever album and The Forgotten Arm there. So they're really good. I'm really looking forward to having a good listen to these albums, because I've only heard tracks here and there from her, so I'd like to give those a proper listen to at some point. We also have a band called Black Bud. Never heard of them. Never heard of them. So I don't know what type of music it's going to be. So that'll be interesting to listen to. The reason I picked it up is because it does look like it is autographed by the band. Which again, if you go to a charity shop and it's £1 for 4 or 5 CDs and you see one which looks to be autographed, worth picking up, even if you don't know the band. We've got, so for people that do know these, we've got Left Your Arms Empty, Wandering Song, Golden Girl, Road to Nowhere, Outside Looking In, I'll Be Here and Darkness. This was released in 2009. So if there's any fans of Black Bud out there, let us know. Again, looking forward to listening to this, see what it's all about. Here's one which, it's not a music CD, it's Doctor Who audiobook. War Doctor Years, Casualties of War. The episode is Pretty Lies. It's the story on this one. It's also got, it's John Hurt as the Doctor and Jacqueline Pearce. Jacqueline Pearce, most popular from Blake 7. And we've also got some other people. We've got Nicholas Briggs as the Daleks on there. So just picked this up. I do like audiobooks. I like to read, but I haven't read for a long time. But audiobooks are one of those ways where you can listen to a book while you're doing other things. So picked that up. Like I say, only £1. You might as well pick it up. Ideally, I'm looking for more Blake 7 audiobooks. I do have them on Spotify, but I would like to pick them up physically. We also have The Levelers Fantasy. Now, this was released in 1995. Again, Levelers, I was introduced to these by an old friend of mine who was a big Mega City 4 fan, and he also liked Levelers, and I listened to this, and listened to the Levelers, should I say Leveling the Land was the album he introduced me to, which was a really good album. If you've never listened to the Levelers, listen to them, they are really good. This has the tracks Fantasy, Sarah's Beach and Searchlights on. So, really good band. If you're into rock and folk music, give them a go, because they are really good. This one, another compilation CD, Guitar Heroes Rock the Night Away. Again, part of a set. Shame I couldn't find the rest of the set. This is CD 2. Again, I picked this one up. A lot of the tracks on here I either have, but it's just some, again, not heard from the bands. So obviously you've got Smoke and Water by Deep Purple, Out in the Fields by Gary Moore, Assassin by Marillion, what else we got on here, FBI Shadows, and George for a Good Bad to the Bone. Now there is some songs on here, like I say, I've never heard by these artists, which is Thunders in a Broken Dream, Sammy Hagar, This Planet's on Fire, April Wine, Just Between You and Me, UFO Shoot Shoot, Michael Schenker Group, Cry for the Nations, Great White, Call It Rock and Roll, Fleetwood Mac, Man of the World, and Dr. Feelgood, Milk and Alcohol. So there is some tracks on there which you probably won't find on other compilation albums. So if you do see it, pick it up. Also I've got two from magazines, one from Kerrang. This has the likes of Rancid, Refused, The Donners, Minor Threat, NoFX, Black Flag, NWA, Cypress Hill, Dead Kennedys, Pennywise, Black Sabbath, and The Damned on there, plus others obviously. So that will come through with a Kerrang magazine at some point. And I like to pick up these ones when I can, because like I say, listening to, you get to hear some new bands that you've never heard, songs by bands which you may have heard of, and you won't find these on other compilation albums a lot of the time, or any of the time should I say. And this one's from Metal Hammer, Volume Dealer it is. And we've got on here The Darkness, Turbo Negro, Funeral for a Friend, Lamb of God, Dimmu Borgia, Mnemonic, Freya, and other bands which again I've never heard of, Hope in Hand, Nora, Boy Sets Fire, Thursday, Cottonmouth Kings, Throwdown, Solenoid, Alchemist. Now I'm sure some of you out there will have heard of those bands, but not myself, so this is why again I pick up albums like this, so I can listen to bands that I've never heard before. And here's the one I was talking about here earlier, Labby Sifri, where I picked up a single and then I went into a chat shop afterwards, saw this, the actual full album with a single on there, and I thought that's a bit fortuitous and a bit of a sign there to get this album, so I did. I picked up this album. Again, I've only listened to the single, so I know I like the most popular song, So Strong, but the others I've never really listened to, so I'm looking forward to listening to this again. This was an 80s album, when was it please? 1988 this was released, so it falls within my wheelhouse of 80s music, so that's a good thing. And like I said, I'm looking forward to listening to that. So that's all. I do apologise for it being so long. There was quite a big pickup over the past couple of weeks, and as it being my first video of this, I do apologise for it being a bit amateurish. If you think so, any mistakes I've made, we'll rectify them later. So, and what we'll do is I'll be uploading some more videos with my happy with what I've already got in my collection and any other pickups that I do have in the future. So that's all for now. I hope you like the channel. If you do, please like and subscribe. Any comments would be welcome, good and bad. I do take criticism well, so please, any criticism, put it in there. So we'll say goodbye for now, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye bye.